G'day guys, Jackson Milan, the Wealth Mentor here. I am recording this for a second time because I recorded it the first time and for some reason it didn't capture my audio. So I figured I'd do this again. But I wanted to record this quick video as an update on our personal finances for our big lap. We're now a month on the road, loving life. It's been amazing so far. Currently in Coffs Harbour, here for a couple of days whilst Anna is getting her driver's license. About bloody time, I must say. But I figured it would be a great opportunity for me to go through an update of our finances video that we did a couple of months ago, where we had some kind of theoretical numbers of what we thought was going to happen, and we compared our pre-trip and our post-trip budget. Now, I wanted to take this opportunity to run you through the actual numbers because I've got many questions about, well, how much did the Troopy fit out cost you? How much have you spent on it? How are you going to end up on the trip, and what have been the actuals? Have there been any unforeseen expenses? And the answer to that is yes, there definitely has been. So I'm going to run you through our spreadsheets. I'm going to show you some forecasts, and hopefully this should help you either plan out your own big lap or your own trips, or really just challenge the way that you think about how you live your lifestyle, because I've really underestimated the power of the opportunity we have here. And I'm going to show you the impact in terms of my own plan to financial freedom to show you exactly what impact that really has in the grand scheme of things. So let's dive right in. So what I've got here, guys, is a spreadsheet that I developed when we first started planning out the trip. I wanted to get clear on exactly what it was going to cost us to fit out the Troopy. We were expecting to spend around about 130,000, and essentially I wanted to map out all of the expenses so I could prioritize it of low, medium, or high, and work out what we purchased and what was still yet to purchase, so we can better manage our own cash flow. So the Troopy cost us 100 grand. We got it from Perth. It already had the Alu cab roof conversion. It already had the GVM upgrade, old man EMU suspension, quite a bit of work done to it. It wasn't in the best situation. It wasn't in the best shape in terms of electrical systems and other issues, which I'll get to shortly. However, it was a really good shell, really good starting point. In total, we have managed to spend about $133,467. We have nothing left significant to spend. Keeping in mind, the 100,000 of that was financed. We've run that as a shadow mortgage through the business as a promotional vehicle. And essentially because that is a promo tool for the business. So essentially, it was only about 33,000, nearly 34,000 of out-of-pocket costs for us. Now, there were some big expenses here. The wrap for the vehicle was 4.5 grand. The solar system and all of the electrical upgrades and fixing the shitty work that was done by our first mechanic, who was an absolute nightmare, was obviously quite expensive, but really happy with what's happened there. We've got some amazing solar panels on the roof. We've got we've never had any issues with the electrical system since we've been on the road. It's been great. We've obviously spent about 2 grand on batteries. I probably should have got better batteries. No shade on Amptron. However, the ability for them to take current is not as good as other batteries. We had a Safiri battery in our FJ, and its ability to take current, like it could take as much as you threw at it. So we could have got a better DC to DC charger and battery system. It would have probably cost us an extra 5 grand. So it hasn't been an issue so far because our solar is so good. We spent 2.5 grand with the old shitty mechanic. We're in a dispute at the moment to get that back, so we're hoping we're going to get that back. The drifter internal fit out was just shy of about 7 grand. We love it. It's been fantastic. The ability to have the desks inside. We've got more cabinetry than what we need. The ability for us to have a good working seat here inside the truck. Drifter just did a top-notch job. Snowmaster fridge. We've got a 75-litre fridge, and it's fantastic. It's got dual zone. It's got plenty of space. It gives us about a week of food. It was really good. And of course, we have the cell phone booster, which has been a game changer for us. So good. It's just anytime we get one bar of reception, it gives us full reception. It's been really a lifesaver. Are there any things here that we regret? I probably should have got one less gull wing. We have the gull wing, which is the kitchen, which is amazing. Really love it. So convenient. And essentially my backdrop here is the box that all of our kitchen stuff sits in. There is a gull wing above the fridge because we were planning to put a shower system on there. So when we open up the gull wing, we can actually stand underneath the shower. One, we didn't go that direction with the shower system. Two, we don't have enough water to warrant that. We've only got 40 litres of water at the moment, so it's only enough for about 2 days of drinking and washing and sponge bathing, which is actually, it sounds gross, but it actually hasn't been too bad. A video for another time. The best purchase, we've been asked a lot, was the MaxTrax table. It has been a game changer. The ability to have that table on the side of the vehicle, that we don't have to pull out a table and set it all up. We just pop a couple of latches and pull it down. Has been just brilliant. Such a great investment, such a great bit of kit. And keeping in mind, guys, this was only $33,500 out of pocket, and the rest of it was financed on a chattel mortgage over 5 years with a 30% balloon. The repayments are really, really cheap. The residual value of this vehicle is going to be substantial. It had very low kilometers when we got it. We're only going to do about 30,000 Ks over the next 12 months. So even if we do resell it, it's going to hold a lot of residual value and it's going to work out very well. So that's, I guess, a bit of a crash course on our expenses. Now, we got this spreadsheet from Expedition Australia to help us map this out. This is a big lap budget spreadsheet. And if you're thinking about doing a big lap or any extended travel, I highly advocate you get this phenomenal tool. Let me run you through the details. So in terms of our expenses, for 12 months, we're expecting to spend on average of about $760 a month on accommodation. We've got caravan parks of about 10 nights per month. We like to free camp. However, we find that a lot of free camps don't have great reception. So for that reason, we're purposely choosing to be in areas where we're close to city or have good reception, and that comes at a cost. So for example, right now we're in Coffs Harbour, we're about 10 minutes from the city, and where we are staying is about $20 a night. Still very, very cheap in the grand scheme of things. We've also factored in hotels and motels. We probably going to get over it at some point and want to have a real life and be able to live in a real house. So we factor that in. We haven't got that feeling yet. We actually really enjoy being in the truck. However, for example, I've got a speaking engagement I've got to go back to Sydney for in a couple of weeks' time. Anna's going to need to bunker down in Brisbane for a couple of nights whilst I fly and then come back. So for that reason, it's $760. Keeping in mind, our rent in Sydney was $750 a week. So it's a quarter of the price. And we've got fuel. So we're averaging 17 litres per 100 kilometres. It's actually less than that. We've just tried to add in some buffers. $140 per litre, a buffer for remote area loading, meaning that it's on average of $1.75 per litre. We're expecting 30,000 kilometres, so that's only $750 a month. So we're still at 50% of our rent per week, and we're talking about a monthly cost here. Food, $200 a week. Takeaways, we were pretty naughty for the first kind of week or so, but we've kind of been cooking pretty much most nights and most breakfasts and lunches. So that's $75 a week. So monthly food cost is $1,183. Storage unit, we got a very small storage unit. We got rid of majority of our stuff and only kept the essentials, $200 a month. Vehicle finance, $1,500. $250 for vehicle and registration per month, $150 for vehicle maintenance a month. We've got $30 for post forwarding, private health insurance, spending money, other expenses just in case, contingency for ad hoc stuff. So monthly expenses are $4,697. So it's a fraction of what we're spending we were spending in Sydney. We've got ad hoc one-off expenses of $5,000. Let's say there's any issues with the car or tours that we want to do or whatever, $5,000. We've got our monthly income while working, $15,880. We've got our starting cash balance, not including investments of when we started. So we're expecting that $15,880 minus $7,800 monthly expenses actually means that we're going to be saving over $8,000 a month. So it basically means that our ability to save over the next 12 months is just shy of $97,000. So it's going to take us about 3 months to recoup the sunk costs in the vehicle, and then the remaining 9 months are all profit. So that basically means we're going to come back with $197,000. Crazy. Just goes to show what you can do if you really think really strategically about this. Like, we're having the experience of a lifetime at a fraction of the cost of our normal lifestyle, and we're enjoying every minute of it. It's been amazing. So let's talk about the real nitty-gritty numbers. So this is our pre-trip budget. So I'm going to show you entertainment, $26,000 a year. Bills, $14,000 a year. Keeping in mind that we had electricity, water, we had phone bills, all of that extra stuff. General expenses are ad hoc, vehicle expenses, repayments, and we had living expenses of nearly $51,000, keeping in mind of the rent. So basically, we had $107,000 a year of expenses. And the breakdown of this is that we had 50% non-discretionary, so our necessities. We aim for our clients to keep that between 50 and 65%, so we're at the bottom end of that threshold. Our discretionary or our spending money, 16%. We aim for that to be between 15 and 30%. We don't live extravagant lifestyles. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we eat out a little bit, nothing too fancy. We like to travel, but we haven't been able to travel because of COVID. So that basically means that we aim for our clients to have a target of 80% expenses. We're at 67%. So that means that our surplus is 33%, where we aim to have a minimum of 20% surplus in the budget. So we already had a pretty good position to start off with. Now, then, when we look at our post-trip, entertainment stays the same, bills is reduced, general stays the same. Transport has increased, of course, by the function of the fact that we are now spending more on the vehicle, but living has been cut down to a quarter. So our expenses have dropped to $5,000 a month, or if we look at this annually to compare apples with apples, we've gone from spending 100 grand a year to 62,000 a year, which basically means that we've gone from 50% of our budget to 22% non-discretionary, meaning that we have 61% surplus. Now, this is the thing that I've overlooked as part of this experience. I thought that there would be more things that I would miss. The big TV and the convenience of having all of these things and being close to places. And I thought I would be sick and tired of driving all of the time. None of those things are true. I understand we're only a month in. It's still early days. We're still honeymoon period. But the fact is that if we want stability, we pull up somewhere like we are right now and we can stay here for as long as we want. If we want adventure, we go into the wilderness. If we want the creature comforts, I've got an iPad. We can watch whatever we want. We've got internet. We've got all of the resources that we could possibly want. If we're over it, we can go book a hotel for a couple of nights and take the edge off. It is all still cheaper than having a structured, strict, regimented financial commitment regime in a metropolitan city. So let me show you the power of this, guys. Now, I've created a financial freedom forecast that we use with our clients, and I've put in my information so you can see everything where we're at. So I'm 32. Let's say, for argument's sake, I want to achieve financial freedom at 50, okay? And I want that to pay out for 40 years, meaning that I want this to last until I'm at least 90. This means that I've got 18 years to invest. Now, during my accumulation phase, so between now and 50, I want to benchmark a rate of return of 10% per year. And then in retirement, so from 50 onwards, I will reduce a little bit of risk and I'll only chase 8%. Inflation is 2.5%. And at the moment, let's assume pre-trip, we were saving 33%. That's 52,000, nearly 53,000 a year. Let's say that I want $400,000 a year in passive income. By 50, that's going to be 623,000 because of inflation, meaning that I would need just shy of $11 million to fund my entire retirement. Now, let's assume right now I've got $1 million net worth. It's higher than that, but I'm being conservative. That's going to be worth 5.6 million or just shy of by the time I get to 50. And my current contributions, this 52,000 a year, assuming only a 5% increase in salary, would be 3.3 million. So what this basically means is that on my pre-trip, 33% of salary, I would be able to do it, but my money would run out by the time I was 74. So in order for me to make this happen, I would need to contribute 51% of my salary in order to achieve that goal by 50. Now, in the second scenario, 61% surplus, let's assume that I just maintained this lifestyle into the future. If I just change this alone, I now go to far exceeding, meaning that my wealth would last in perpetuity for the rest of my life. Now, what about if I didn't need 400,000? I don't even know what I would spend $400,000 a year on. Let's assume that we reduce that to 200,000. If I do this, as you can see, I wouldn't have to contribute any of my salary. My current wealth would get me to having my wealth pretty much lasting in perpetuity. This grey line would never run out. With contributing this, I now have exponential wealth to the point that by the time I get to 90, I would have $150 million. It's crazy. So the point here, guys, is that we have all been sold a story of how we're supposed to pursue financial freedom. We live in a metropolitan area, we go to work in the city, we earn the big bucks, which comes with all of the costs associated with modern metropolitan living. We live in the big house with this huge mortgage. We have limited opportunities to go away 4 weeks a year if we're lucky. Vast majority of people, it's only 2. We have all of these extravagant expenses. We live a life of excess where we are a slave to the financial decisions that we've made and the lifestyle that we've been sold. There's no power in that. The power in this is that I have complete freedom of choice. I have an abundance of surplus available for me to pursue opportunities with very little risk of recourse. And I'm living a better lifestyle than the vast majority of people. And this is something that's even surprised me. So what this is really here to show you guys is not to gloat, not to show you how good I am. I wanted to show you what's possible. I want you to really reconsider the possibilities of how you go about manufacturing financial freedom on your own terms. Now, hey, if you want to live the $1 million lifestyle in the beachfront mansion with the $5 million mortgage and driving the Porsche with the massive repayments and all that stuff, power to you. That's fine. You probably need to understand that these levers you can pull in terms of the monthly that you need to save or how long you need to work or the risk that you need to take is going to fundamentally change. And this is going to be what you need to consider in order for you to play an active role in achieving and creating that lifestyle for yourself. This is the difference between dreams and goals. The system that I've just shown you is a step-by-step system that I have followed to bring my dreams to goals and goals to life. So hopefully this helps, guys. Would love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. What are your takeouts? How has this applied to you? I'll be doing some more videos coming up shortly to just keep you guys filled in and looking forward to chatting to you soon. Take care.